Oh, it's like
oh, even pooping.
2 toenails.
He's really relaxed with
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just
Just drop it off.
She loves animals, so yeah.
On our third day in Australia, we started the 4-hour-long drive from Sydney to Molong. The more west we went, the more beautiful it got, and there were so many places to stop along the route. Our first stop was the Blue Mountains National Park. We found the Jameson Outlook, which led us to these stunning views. There were so many different paths you can take, and we thought we took the shortest and easiest one, but apparently we didn't. It said easy grade and some steps. However, that was an understatement because there was a ton of steps and it was a pretty steep grade. I believe if we had taken the easier path that I thought we were on, we would have ended up overlooking the waterfall versus looking at it. But we still got some pretty cool views, and either way, my 77-year-old Meemaw handled this little trek like a champ, and I know it was not easy because even I was struggling. We followed the path a little further down, but this area was closed off due to some landslides that had happened. This whole area was gorgeous though, and I would love to come back one day and do some more hiking. Next, we stopped at the Echo Point Lookout to see the Three Sisters. We debated going on this gondola over here, but decided no because none of us are really a fan of heights. The insects were deafening, but the views were stunning. Because Meemaw is one of 3 sisters, this is definitely a spot we could not miss. We had to get a picture of her in front of it, and being only 4 foot 10 inches tall, we dubbed her the short one. After that, we stopped in Katoomba for a quick bite to eat. I got these loaded peri-peri chicken fries. Meemaw got these delicious fish and chips, and I think Mom got a burger. I had the most delicious cream soda. If you know where to find these in the US, let me know. We drove a little longer and made a pit stop at McDonald's to get a frozen Coke Zero. I don't know why we don't have frozen Coke Zeros in the US yet, but McDonald's, please get on it. Finally, a little after 5, we arrived in Molong, where I was able to check in for the Australian Disc Golf Championships. I picked up my player's pack. It had this awesome glow disc with a tournament stamp, a free cider with koozie, course map that was a towel, hat, stickers, and my personal favorite, because I love local made items, I chose the corn relish, but you could choose a variety of different things off the table when you checked in. I still haven't tried it, but I need to because it does look so good. After getting checked in, we had a drink and waited for the players meeting. I didn't get a chance to get a practice round in, but that's okay because I already knew that the layout was not for me. It was for MPO, so I was just gonna wing it. The players meeting went through the normal things, but I did want to show you all this awesome app they've created for the tournament. I wish every big tournament had this. It was incredible. It had an event countdown, players guide, any kind of relevant information you needed. After the players meeting, we headed towards our Airbnb, and what a beautiful surprise this was, seeing this family of 3 kangaroo on the drive-in. And this is only the beginning of our kangaroo adventures in Australia. Our Airbnb. It's on a farm. It's so old and cute. The cottage sits on a working farm and it was definitely old, but in the best way possible. I absolutely loved it. It had so much character and it was so peaceful out here. It's definitely not a touristy area, so there aren't a whole lot of options for accommodations. We probably could have found something a little closer to the tournament, but I wouldn't trade what we got to experience at this Airbnb for the world, and you will see why shortly. And I actually booked this specific Airbnb because she had a camel. This is Clive, and it took a lot of coaxing, but eventually we made friends with him. Not on night one, though. The next morning, we headed to round one of the Australian Disc Golf Championships. They had this adorable coffee setup. I didn't get any coffee pre-round because if I drink coffee pre-round, I usually get the jitters and play even worse. However, I played pretty bad, so I definitely could have used it. Per usual, I had an amazing card though, and we had a lot of fun even though my play was atrocious. I had some kangaroo jerky mid-round, not my favorite. Luckily, the coffee van was still there post-round, so I finally got to get some much-needed iced coffee and my own cookie. Every day, my family would drop me off for my round, and then they would go find different things to do. The first day, they found this cute little spot called the Agrestic Grocer, which had a variety of grocery items as well as a restaurant. They actually ate here for breakfast, but brought me back so I could eat here for lunch, and it was adorable. They had so many fresh and local made things in here that I would have loved to try, but I only had so much space in my suitcase, and we didn't have a whole lot of time to finish it before leaving. I made my way around the shop, checking out all the things I wish I could bring home, and then we headed in to eat. None of us are really big drinkers, but when in Rome, or in this case, when in Orange, which is known for its award-winning wineries, we did have to have a little wine tasting. Pinot Noir. For lunch, I chose the Turkish chilbur, which is poached eggs and a garlicky yogurt sauce, and it might be one of my favorite things I ate the whole trip, and I've been trying to recreate it at home and just cannot get it right. And they also had steamed milk and honey on the menu, which I've never had but sounded so good I had to try it, and wow. I've also got to figure out how to make this too. Also, I'm obsessed with tiny spoons, and I'm really disappointed in myself for not asking if I could purchase one of these. Also, their restroom signs were so funny. After that, we headed back to the Airbnb where we just hung out for the evening, watching all the kooky birds and their antics, while relaxing and also trying to coax the camel over. You got this. Yeah, that's the way they went. There you go. I'm convinced Australia has the noisiest birds you'll ever hear, but also some of the coolest. Clive! And after a good 30 minutes or so of coaxing, we finally got a visit from Clive the Camel.
It's a lady.
Is that your mom? That's probably the owner.
Probably the owner, yeah.
Is that your mom?
He definitely knows his mama.
Oh, Mama coming
She coming to feed
you. Hi.
And now for the biggest surprise yet.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, what is this?
Sweet. Who would have thought?
That is soft.
Hey, baby. Oh, my goodness.
So what do
they're
you
the
feed that
sweetest little thing. There's a company that's mirrored the milk of kangaroos. So basically, you can feed them soy milk. It's just they're lactose intolerant.
Oh, wow.
I booked the Airbnb for Clive the Camel and had no idea that she was actually fostering a baby Joey at the time. This was truly the coolest surprise, and I think this might be my single favorite moment of my life so far,
Yep.
even though he pooped on me.
He's relaxed.
Yes, that's exactly right. He's relaxed. For some reason, he always poos on my lap. Oh, God.
Here, let's dump it. There we go. Almost there. There we go. There we go.
Oh, look, he like hugging her.
Never did I imagine I would finish this day off by holding a Joey. Truly the coolest thing ever.
Sleeping.
Lots of sleep.
Does he sleep in the pouch or?
He sleeps in the pouch, yeah. But you can sort of toilet train them.
Really?
Yeah, so he'll hang on until I let him out.
Where are you going?
Generally.
Oh my gosh.
He has a long leg.
Turn this way.
You want down or you okay?
Oh my gosh.
Legs.
Oh, it's like
Oh,
two,
pooping.
two toenails.
Yeah, he's really relaxed with you.
Yeah. There we go.
I didn't know he did
Just drop it off.
She loves animals.
that. Yeah.
You're the sweetest baby.
If they're super small, they don't make it, do they?
No, if they don't have fur,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
You want down?
They sometimes they do, but it's just a lot more difficult. Yeah.
Right.
But if they've got fur and their ears are up,
I could have never imagined how many dead kangaroo we would see along the road on our drive from Sydney to Molong, and this baby is a product of that. They jump out in the road and get hit, and sometimes the babies make it, and if they do, they need foster parents, and that's what happened with this little guy. And this is actually the first Joey she's fostered in years, so we just got super lucky to be here during this time. I could have literally sat and watched him for hours. It was truly the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I just feel so fortunate to have gotten to experience this. It was a really rough day on the disc golf course, but to finish it in this way reminds me exactly why I travel and play. I may not play the best, but I have experienced some of the coolest things you could possibly imagine by putting myself out there anyways. The next morning, on the way to round 2, we got stopped by this train, and there was a few people out recording it, so I decided to record it just in case something cool was coming up.
Oh, I wonder what's going to be there.
Better be something good.
I know, right? Maybe it's the longest train in Australia.
Hopefully not.
That would be my luck. We're gonna have to drift down instead.
Well, we can do that. This car does that real well.
I wouldn't slide right in.
So the day before when I was playing, my stepdad was driving and they accidentally drifted into a parking lot, hence why they're talking about how well the car drifts. Kind of sad I missed that.
Oh, what's that? Nothing. It's already been a minute and a half.
It's the longest train.
I know.
We never figured out why they were recording other than this train being insanely long, but either way I made it to my round and all was well. And this is footage of the first par I got. It took me 22 holes into the competition to get a par. The layout was super long, but mostly I just played really, really bad. After the round, we headed to Coffee on Kiwa, which is one of the few things that was open in this tiny little town of Manildra. I got a much needed iced coffee. Then we headed back to the Airbnb. This was my first time as a passenger on the left side, and I can confidently say I'd much rather drive on the right side than ride on the left. It felt so weird. And also while I was at the coffee shop, I picked up a chicken schnitzel, which was my dinner / late lunch. Later we went back to the disc golf course for the players party. Somehow I didn't get any pictures or videos of that, but I did capture this beautiful sunset. And as I mentioned earlier, I typically don't drink coffee before or during my rounds because it makes me jittery, but at this point I'd already been playing so bad, I figured it wouldn't hurt. And in this moment, I just had a feeling she was going to make this putt, and I'm so glad I recorded it.
I got that on video.
Did you?
Yes.
So where do I put my meat?
I swear they have the most random gummy candies in Australia, and they made me do this with the teeth. These are mint flavored and so odd. Picking the bark off this tree was way too satisfying, and I could have sat here and done this all day. Thankfully, during the third and final round, I actually remembered how to play, and if I would have played that well every round, I would have finished in second place. So at least I walked away happy after 2 disappointing rounds.
What are you doing?
And we were planning on going straight back to Sydney after my round, but we decided to stay at our cute little cottage with the camel one more night. And come back next week to see what we get into on our drive back to Sydney and how we spend our last night there.